I'm Richard Joel. I have the privilege of serving as president of Yeshiva University, and it's my pleasure to greet you. I have served as president for almost 10 years. Before that, I had the pleasure of being the international president of the Hillel Foundation. Before that, I was a law professor, and before that, I was in law and order as an assistant district attorney in New York for a few years. So I'm a recovering attorney. Most important, I'm married to my best friend for 39 years. We have 6 children, 4 children-in-law, and 4 grandchildren so far in Yirtzeh Hashem. I'm very excited to greet you and welcome you to this very, very, very important program. Yeshiva University is the educational fountainhead of Torah Judaism, both in America and around the world. It's our goal to make sure that the story of the Jewish people, which is a story of vitality, which is a story of building the world, of partnering with the transcendent to model the kind of values that can make us a light unto the nations, and so that we can partner with other people of goodwill within the Jewish world and beyond to advance civilization. That's a fairly lofty mission statement, and it's also clear that no institution, and not this university, does that by itself. But we love being a launching pad. And therefore, in addition to our wonderful 7,000 students and 5,000 staff, we really believe that the Jewish community is part of our mandate. It's part of what we do together, because we have never been counted by the numbers, and our strength has never come from the numbers, but as the stars of the heaven. It counts, number one, as to how brightly we shine, and to number two, if we're worthy of being the stars by which the world can navigate. Therefore, we have to know who we are, and we have to know how to lead. And therefore, it's wonderful to launch this kind of program that will, in fact, equip you to have a broader perspective, hopefully, to gain skills, to equip yourself to do your part in strengthening, building up Klal Yisrael and our mandate to matter in the world. I look forward to speaking to you next on June 9th when I participate in your seminar, where I will be dealing with the notion of Jewish leadership, meaning being expansive. And while it's so critical to know who we are, what our principles are, to look to our community to see how we keep it strong and vibrant, that's very important, so that we can also build beyond and reach out our arms to the rest of Klal Yisrael and find ways to have a synergy by which we as a people move to the future, where we as a people make sure that all of our children are interested in the Jewish story and interested in being part of the Jewish future. So those are some wonderful and lofty ideas and ideals that I have, and I now have a few months to figure out what I'm going to say to you. But I'm very much looking forward to your celebrating this program and to my colleagues participating in it. Have a wonderful time. Thank you very much.
My name is Rabbi J.J. Schachter. I served as a pulpit rabbi in Massachusetts and in New York for close to 30 years, and had tremendous experience working with lay leaders within the context of being a rabbi. And about 10 and 12 years ago, started working directly with pulpit rabbis all across the United States. We live in complicated times when there are many demands on us. We have our own personal demands. We have professions. We have work that we need to complete. We have, Baruch Hashem, families that we are very much fundamentally a part of and find to be tremendous blessings in our lives. And we also understand that we have an achrayus for Klal Yisrael, for the Jewish people. And in order to be successful in what we do, we need to understand what it is that we want to accomplish. We need to understand who we are, and we need to learn how to balance all of these various blessings that take up so much of our time and so much of our energy. And I don't believe that we can be successful at any one of them unless we understand where each one of them fits within the context of the fullness of our lives. We want to be happy, we want to be fulfilled, we want to feel like we're making a difference. And if we can appreciate who we are, what we are, understand how to balance all of these various blessings and demands, we'll be in a much, much better position to exercise the fullness of our leadership in a way that will be meaningful for us and for the communities that we will serve.
Hi, my name is Rabbi Ronnie Schwartzberg, and I am the Director of Jewish Career Development and Placement at Yeshiva University. In my position, I have the wonderful opportunity to help communities all over North America find leadership in terms of their rabbis, Jewish organizations, and things of that nature. We have the opportunity to work with both the clergy on one side and the lay leadership on the other side, and helping them to do the most professional search that they possibly can in looking for their new opportunity. If the camera's picking up the gray in my beard, then you know that I've been doing what I'm doing for a long time. I began my career as the Director of Education at the Hebrew Institute of Riverdale, and there I became the Assistant Rabbi as well. So I spent my first 5 years of my career in Riverdale, New York, and then I had the great privilege of becoming the rabbi in Highland Park, New Jersey, at Congregation Avasachim, where I spent 20 years before coming to my current position here at Yeshiva University. What I hope to be able to do with all of you is share literally well over 30 years of experience working in the Jewish community on both the clergy side as well as on the lay side. Not only have I had the privilege of working as the professional in a community, but during these past almost 8 years where I've been at Yeshiva University, I have tremendous involvement with a lot of issues in my own community, now as a lay leader and not as the rabbinic leader. Conducting a serious and professional search for your organization is not an easy task. It's the one committee that almost everybody wants to be on because it's going to set the tone for your community's organization for the next many years. People don't realize the amount of time and effort and grueling process it actually is to do a successful hire. Good governance understands that you invest in your clergy and your Jewish communal professionals. If we don't make investments in our Jewish professionals, in our clergy, often what happens is we develop the opposite, and we call them clergy killers. And we always believe that it's the fault of the clergy, it's the fault of the Jewish communal worker, it's the fault of the principal that we're not moving forward. It takes collaboration of lay leadership, good governance, to work very, very sincerely and strongly with the professionals to make it really happen. And we have to invest in that relationship for success. I look forward to engaging with you and learning with you on these topics and others. I'm sure that when we get together, we're going to find this to be a very educational and mutually beneficial and enjoyable time together.
I'm Michael Strauss. I'm the Associate Dean of the SciSim School of Business. Unlike most of the people here, I'm not an academic. I spent the last 35 to 40 years in business. The first 20 years I spent at corporate America, American Express, American Airlines, Citibank, in very senior business positions, executive positions. While most people associate a business plan with a for-profit organization, a business plan is as important, if not more so, for a not-for-profit, such as a shul. In the same manner, as a for-profit, shuls compete for members, and in order for them to attract members, they need to differentiate themselves from the other shuls in terms of the programs they offer, in terms of the environment that they create for their community. And unfortunately, at least my experience with shuls has been that they don't look at a rigorous program of putting together a business plan. They more likely will develop programs on as needed basis. And I think in the same manner that individuals have a so-called business plan, and certainly for-profit organizations have a business plan, it is incumbent on synagogues, which are businesses. They happen to be not-for-profits, but the businesses, to develop a very, very comprehensive business plan with specific goals and objectives and how they will meet those goals and objectives.
Hi, I'm Janine Kay. I currently serve as Yeshiva University's New Jersey Regional Director, as well as the Associate Director for Institutional Advancement, better known as fundraising, for the Center for Jewish Future, CJF, as well as for the REITS program, which is the Rabbi Isaac Elchanan Theological Seminary. Yes, it's a big mouthful. It's a lot of great work, and I enjoy my work. My last role was as vice president of our shul. So I know what it's like to lead a busy life, I know what it's like to juggle, and I'm hoping that I can help you maximize your lay leadership role and help your synagogue or your institution. We're all struggling with how to fundraise, how to ensure that our organizations are going to be sustainable today and in the future. To show you some best practices in fundraising, such as some things that work easily and really take advantage of what we call the low-hanging fruit. Some programs that you might be already instituting in your organization where we can see maybe we can maximize it better, such as Learning in Memory Parnas Hayom program, some of the holiday fundraisers that you're doing, perhaps Rosh Hashanah greetings, Purim Mishloach Manot, some other things that institutions do that I want to work through with you to see how we can do that better. And then we can talk more grander and really try to maximize the fundraising efforts by doing some of the more ambitious programs and really highlighting some of those benefits, such as we're talking about Sefer Torah campaign, Chinese auctions, some of the do's and don'ts for some of the more standard programs, but then also the do's and don'ts for some of those more ambitious programs, and seeing if that's going to be the right fit for your organization. Really what I hope you get out of this is that you see that fundraising can in fact be fun. So we really want to put the fun back in fundraising, but really for you to be able to be a tool for your organization in terms of fundraising and being a good resource to them.
Hi, I'm Dan Foreman. I'm Vice President for Institutional Advancement at Yeshiva University. A seminar, which will take place in May, about fundraising and development, and especially my part is the major gift focus on successful fundraising, is where I think the action and the fun is at. 90% or more of funds that are raised for mid to large size Jewish organizations come from, in today's terms, less than 5% of its donor base. At Yeshiva University and other large institutions, that ratio could even be 98% of the funds come from under 2% of the donors. Therefore, similar to real estate, in selling large homes or small homes with the same commission, you try to focus on the large donors or those that will have the greatest return on investment. The seminar will look at ways to maximize one's skills in being successful in fundraising using sales psychology, training in face-to-face soliciting, 1 or 2 case studies where we'll learn from each other, and other forms of finding out how to achieve the most success in an efficient and effective manner. As part of the seminar experience, we also hope that peer learning from each participant's experience of their past examples in fundraising can also be brought into this class, so that as much as possible will be the practical nature of the goal being how to succeed in major gift fundraising. This, coupled with your other experiences in this program, should provide that fully comprehensive role definition of being an effective fundraiser, an effective manager, and bettering the Jewish community. Thanks a lot.
Hi, good morning. My name is Avi Lauer, and I'm the Vice President for Legal Affairs, Secretary, and General Counsel of Yeshiva University. I'm also an addicted lay leader, and I'd like to come to you for some help. By way of background, I have over 20 years of lay leadership within various communities throughout the tri-state area and nationally, but specifically in my community where I grew up and now live and raise my family. My father was an addicted lay leader, and my grandfather was as well, so I come from a family history of people suffering from this addiction of lay leadership. And what I'd like to do is work with you. I find it both therapeutic and hopefully helpful to you to talk about this addiction. I was president of the largest Young Israel in the United States at the same time as being chairman of one of the largest day schools in the country. yeah, I have a problem. But there is some reward to this, and I don't regret it at all. And I'd like to be able to share some of my experiences with you as we take this journey together. Some of the things I'd like to discuss include general governance, board structure, the role that lay and professional leaders play within a not-for-profit, and how to run an interesting meeting, if there is such a thing. Generally, what we'd like to discuss is best practices in terms of running a not-for-profit. As we hope to address during this program is that dreaded, boring board meeting. You know, they don't call it a board meeting for nothing. But it doesn't have to be that way. Hopefully, together, we'll learn how to take bored out of the board meeting and how to take an initiative and turn it into a productive meeting. That might be via productive committee work that leads up to a board meeting where there's discussion and decision, but not every board meeting needs to be a boring experience, and we'll hopefully work towards that goal together.
Hi, I'm Moshe Isaacson, Director of Interactive Marketing at Yeshiva University, and I've spent the past several years really working on how to strike a balance in internet content, whether it's the university's website, social media, internet marketing, online advertising, and email marketing. Every method that you use to contact somebody online, there's a right and a wrong way to do it, and I'm excited to talk to you more about striking that perfect balance. We live in an age where your online presence guarantees that you have the opportunity to reach a limitless number of people. How does your organization, your school, your shul tap into that potential? Let's be honest, the fear that most people have in engaging with social media is a lack of privacy. We're going to explore ways that allow you to address that and maintain that balance, that distinction between your private life and what's available for everybody. Email is one of the best ways to keep in touch with your audience, but there's a right and a wrong way to handle that as well. Too many times I've signed up for a newsletter from an organization only to be bombarded day and night with every last message that they're trying to get across to me. How can you make sure that your customers are receiving the information that they want and not being overwhelmed by your message?
It's nice to see you all. My name is Josh Joseph. I work at Yeshiva University. I'm the Vice President and Chief of Staff. I've been at YU for almost 9 years, and I came here after a brief stint at a small organization from the world of finance. And it's been an interesting transition, and I wanted to share some of my stories and some of my experiences with you. What our main focus is going to be talking about a dirty word sometimes in Jewish organizations and corporations, and that is politics. Now you might say, what do you have to do with politics? So I will tell you that Vice President and Chief of Staff, people don't really always understand what that means. So I'll explain to you that sometimes people call me Chief Political Officer. But I think there's something else. Come with me. There's something else when you're talking about politics that we can be talking about here. So the question is, what do you do about it? So a lot of people, what they'll try to do is they'll try to get around it. Right? They'll try to get around it. Or you have, maybe some adventurous people will try to go right through it. Right? Or then you have what our most common response is, and that is to just sort of either pretend it doesn't exist or try to exit out and not deal with it at all. So those are a couple of the options. But what we're going to talk about is how to use politics. Because politics really, when it comes down to it, it's about people. And that's what we're all in this business for. And the question is going to be, how do we use politics to support the people and to elevate them and take them to new heights? Looking forward to seeing you all on March 10th. See you then.
Hi, my name is Susie Schwartz, and I have the pleasure of working as the Assistant Dean here at the Center for the Jewish Future. And looking forward to spending some time with you later in the program, actually, I think quite late in the program, towards the end. I actually spent most of my professional career in the world of marketing and advertising. Most recently working as a Senior Vice President, Senior Account Director at a large global advertising agency. And just a couple of years ago, I made a switch over from the corporate world to the Jewish community world. Before I came here, I actually was a lay leader, so I kind of wear both hats, the hat of the community leader and now as a professional community leader. The topic that Vice President asked me to talk about with you is going to be the area of volunteering. And in your positions, hopefully, as community leaders, you are going to be hopefully identifying leaders, cultivating them, working with them to help achieve the different programs and goals that you have. And there's certainly challenges when it comes to that, how to find those leaders, how to find the right match between the passions that that individual has and the area of focus that you're asking them to work on. Trying to basically build the best teams that you can to help accomplish the goals that you've set out for yourself and for your institution. So we're going to be talking about that, and hopefully we'll be able to share best practices together, learn from others who have been successful in this arena. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to spending some time with you later on in the program.
Hello, as you probably know by now since we spent a few hours together, my name is Rabbi Brander. I'm the David Vincent Dean of Yeshiva University Center for the Jewish Future, who is bringing you this leadership program under the leadership of Rabbi Sittner. Our hope and prayers are that we are able to convene the academic resources and the total resources of Yeshiva University to empower communities around North America. And this leadership program is all about that. Communities serve as a heaven and a haven for the individual constituents. They serve as a way of empowering the creativity of individuals. And it's a partnership between the rabbis and the lay leadership, what we call Klei Kodesh and Lay Kodesh. And we hope that through this program, we will enable the Lay Kodesh, each and every one of you, to find out a little bit more about yourselves, about your talents, about your capacity to grow as individuals, to empower your families and your communities. And that Ezrat Hashem, in partnership, we will grow our communities, Lahadil Toladira, to continue to promote Torah and to inspire communities not only to empower their constituents, but to engage in the transformation of society around us. Thank you.